I just turned 20 and I was having a real hard time. And so I went to go buy a pack of cigarettes. I put my headphones in, I start walking, and the next thing I know is I wake up in a hospital bed and I'm covered in tubes. I have breathing tubes, I have IVs, I have feeding tubes, and I start pulling every tube off of me. I see my brother at the end of the bed and I tell him to get my shoes because I was leaving. That's when I was made aware that I was hit by a car going 60 miles an hour. I spent about 3 months in the hospital. I remember that the first feeling that I had was that I was really thankful that I was alive. And I thank God, and I'm like, God, thank you for saving me. I went home in a wheelchair and with the diagnosis of severe brain damage, and that thankfulness that I was alive quickly turned around into anger and bitterness. I went through a very deep stage of depression. I lost my identity. Before my accident, I was 6'6". I had this really big IQ, and I didn't have these things anymore. So all of a sudden, I didn't know who I was. So I felt like God didn't love me, and that was reinforced by the idea that God allowed this to happen. I remember that led to a lot of dealing with a lot of depression by myself. Honestly, praying every night that I do not wake up in the morning. I started thinking that I should roll myself into another car so that I could finish the job. There was one day, about 6 months later, when I had enough. And I had to tell God exactly how I felt, no matter of the consequences. I started yelling at him. I started telling him, how can you call this love? And going just down the line, I thought about everything. And the last thing I told him was, God, what happens to the plans that not only did I had for my life, but that you said that you had for my life? And I just start crying. And all of a sudden, I feel a peace. And I hear God tell me, I love you. So after my accident, after that experience, I started going to church and stuffing envelopes in with newsletters and answering the phones, and tried to do as much as I could for God. And I was happy with that because I was serving God with my limitations. But one day, I'm riding my bike and the song Oceans comes on, and God calls me. I want to take you deeper, but you have to trust me. That song became the catalyst into one of the biggest seasons of growth in my life. I started going to school. I started just so many opportunities were opened, and I blindly just followed God, and I told God, you open doors and I will walk through them. One of the lines that really spoke to me was the line that said, and I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. Whenever I was facing a challenge, it was a reminder that God was with me, that God had a plan and that he was going to complete the plan that he had. God used my experiences and the pain and everything that I had gone through to be able to speak into people's lives. I got the opportunity to go to many public high schools and tell them my testimony and share with thousands of students about the hope that we have in Jesus Christ. I had also the opportunity to become an associate youth pastor at my church. This song is special to me. This song was the truth that I needed to hear. It was the catalyst that propelled me into a new season of life. It helped me trust and learn how to trust a God that sometimes felt distant. This song is a hope that no matter where we find ourselves in life, that God wants something more, and that God is not going to leave us, and that we can trust in the future that he has for us. I think one of the reasons why this song is so popular is that everyone can relate to that. We all have an ocean in front of us. We have an ocean of pain, of things that we've gone through. We all experience loss at some point in a different kind of magnitude, but we all have an ocean that keeps us from the plan that God has for us. This song is a reminder of the hope that we have in Jesus Christ. And as simple as it sounds, it's also one of the most difficult things that we will ever learn or learn to accept. But even in the storm, God is with me. You know, even in the darkest places of my life, that His grace abounds there. You know, that God is enough for me in this pain. God is enough for me through the hardest things that I can go through. And it led me to a place of hope